episode of Asexualise, my asexual life. This is supposed to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit that great big subscribe button right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon so you get notified of every time I go live like now or post a new video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you're enjoying the content, if you find it useful, helpful, insightful in any way, shape or form even. So romantic asexual prioritizes friendship over a romantic relationship. So I am talking about myself, and I'm going to be revealing to you in this video why I am prioritizing friendship over a romantic relationship. It's a very controversial topic in the asexual community as to why romantic asexuals and the majority of the world tend to prioritize romantic relationships over their friendships. So I'm here to tell you that I am now prioritizing friendships over romantic relationships. If you're new to this channel, I am Sandra Bellamy, author of Asexual Perspectives on Amazon. So if you want to know more about relationships and get 47 asexual different perspectives on it, please check out this book on Amazon. So yes, getting back onto today's video. So yeah, I am heteromantic asexual in sexual orientation. This means I'm attracted to the opposite gender. I was born female, I signed female, whichever language you particularly prefer to use, and therefore I am happily female. And me personally. And so yes, I desire a romantic relationship usually with a guy, the opposite gender. I'm not romantically or any other way attracted to women whatsoever. I'm very heteromantic, and I have up until recently been looking for my asexual soulmate for 7.5 years, and this has been a long process. I've dedicated loads of time to it, been really proactive, reached out to a lot of guys over the years, spoke to a lot of them in private message, video chatted with some of them. I've been on sexual dating sites as well, was on Facebook dating for quite a bit of time, about 3 or 4 different times I was on there as well, but for periods of time. And you know, I talked to and approached a lot of guys because I don't believe in the 21st century it's just up to the woman, up to the guy, sorry, to do that with the women all the time. Although personally, in my experience, if a guy reaches out to me, he's likely possibly going to be more interested than me approaching a guy. But some guys are really shy, right? So I've been really proactive in doing that. This year, unfortunately, I got my heart broken by 2 different asexual guys, both young or foreign. One was actually in his early 30s, Indian, asexual guy. I thought he might be the one soulmate I've been looking for years, but he turned out not to be. And then, as you know, another younger foreign guy in his 20s. More recently, he wasn't suitable for me either. And over the course of this time, unfortunately, with everything else that's gone in my last year of my life, it's been very traumatic. These last 2 dating relationship scenarios, whatever you want to call them, for these 2 different asexual guys, it was really heartbreaking for me. Very traumatic experiences, in the end, not suitable. And so, you know, I now realize at this point in my life that I have done enough searching for my asexual soulmate. 7.5 years I've been searching, and it's now time for change, because if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, you keep getting the same results, right? And so clearly it's not working for me. Dating and looking for relationships not working for me anymore. And I've got to a point now where I really don't trust anyone new in a relationship like that. You know, I'd have to know the guy for a very long time before I'd even consider a relationship now, you know. And is it hard? Yes, it's difficult, because I'm naturally a romantic person, but I'm really trying to rein in the hyper bit of the romance I'm usually am. And also, you know, because of all the trauma, it's really put a stop, a hole on that side of my life. And I realise now that I've spent enough time looking for this guy. I believe I knew him, he was Indian. I knew him from a past life, even though the last guy wasn't Indian. And so obviously have been open to other guys. And, you know, and it's just not worked out. And I realize now that I'm going to stop doing that, because all the time, energy and effort I was putting into doing that, I can now put into other things, because my trust has been really, really broken where relationships concerned. I'm not going to be able to have a healthy relationship right this moment in time, because I'm not going to trust a guy. And, you know, and there's no guys in my life that I've known for a long time who I could be in a relationship with that I would be suitable for, and vice versa. So it's not going to happen. Right. However, I was approached by an asexual guy in his early 20s yesterday, who's foreign, not Indian, but still an ethnicity that I would usually like. And he approached me yesterday in private message, and for some reason people keep saying I don't know who's been saying it, but it's not the first time I come across it, that I can help someone find a partner. Right? It's not up to me to help you find a partner. It's up to you to find a partner yourself. I did actually find my asexual best friend their life partner. That's the only time I've ever found someone directly their life partner. And that's because they were my best friend. I've known them for a long time, and I just happened to come across the right person for them, right? But it's not my job to actually go and find a relationship for anyone. It's up to you to do the hard work, put the time, energy, and effort into finding someone suitable for a relationship, right? You know, so I explained this to the guy, you know, that it's, you know, I do coaching, training, asexual speaker, asexual author, but it's not up to me to find someone for a relationship. That's what you have to do, put the time, energy, and effort into it. And I said that I still haven't found my asexual guy I've been looking for like 7.5 years. So he messaged me back today. Bear in mind, this is only the second conversation I've ever had with him, saying, why don't we have a long distance relationship? And of course, my answer to that was no, right? And I listed a whole heap of reasons as to why I doubt we'd be suitable. And not only that, I don't know the guy. There's no way I'd get into a relationship with a guy I do not know, right? It's just, I'm not going to do that, right? You know, and I haven't even heard from this guy since, right? If I was in a relationship with a guy, which I don't want to be, I would want them to be a best friend to me, and I would want to have regular contact, them to be speaking to me, talking to me, being a best friend, a soulmate, love of my life, all in one. That's what I would want, expect, need, desire, right? And for us to be compatible, right? I am not doing a long distance relationship or long distance dating scenario ever again. You know, in my own country maybe, but not in another country. Like if some guy lived in London, I would consider that, for example, but not in another country, right? Because it only ends in heartache and heartbreak, because the guy cannot usually come over here because he can't get a visa. And then it all starts about, oh, well, the only way we can be together is for marriage. Categorically, I've told everyone I ever know that I do not want marriage, categorically. And so if you're looking for a visa for marriage, go and get someone else to do that, because I'm really seriously not interested. And I'm not interested anyway. This guy didn't suggest marriage visa or anything like that, right? But I'm just saying, I told him this about, you know, I'm not looking to get married, and I tell every guy, but I do not want an online long distance relationship ever again, or dating scenario. I'm done with it. I need someone here in person in the UK, ideally in my city, who I can have a proper, serious, committed adult relationship with, despite his age. If I have a younger guy, he needs to be mature, and he needs to know exactly what he wants. He needs to be very intelligent, very caring towards me, appreciates an older girl, and doesn't even think about me being that much older, really, just a wiser, and who I have lots of things in common interest with, who I feel comfortable around, who I can talk to, you know, and who's not going to boss me around or tell me what to do or try and control me or manipulate me, who's going to be emotionally available, not emotionally unavailable, who's not going to keep chopping and changing his mind. You know, I've had so many different problems over the years, as you know, on this channel, with emotionally unavailable guys. Emotionally unavailable guys that are just toxic, guys that just live too far away, guys that just, you know, like cannot get a visa to get over here, guys that I've already mentioned, toxic, narcissistic, guys who just chop and change their mind, or clearly no good for me anyway, guys who you know, like don't understand what it takes to be with an older girl, right? other guys that don't even like being with an older girl, and they're like pretending they do, or doing some rubbish stuff and saying some horrible stuff. But yet still interested at the same time, which is ridiculous. I've had guys that are just no good for me, right? And I'm done with that. I'm sick of it. I don't want that in my life anymore. And so for me, taking a break, maybe indefinitely, from dating and relationships, this is something I want to do now. So now my priority is friendships. The friendships I got, I still want to keep building on. I've got really amazing asexual best friend, as you know. I've got another really best friend called Andy. He's also our mutual best friend. And then I've got my best friend Debbie, who's going to Turkey, moving with a partner to Turkey next month. So I'm not going to be seeing her very much. I'm not going to be hearing from her as much as well, especially in the beginning. But, you know, she rang me up on Christmas Day. You know, she's still very much a part of my life, and I care about her a lot. So, you know, but I also want to expand my social circle this year. Well, going into 2022, I want to expand my social circle, expand getting some local friends. I really want to make friends with younger guys in their 20s who my mind and lifestyle age, and hang around with them as friends and go out as friends, you know, and just be around people who I can relate to, who are my mindset age and stuff like that, because it's really important for me to grow that, you know, because if I can actually restore my faith in guys being some good guys out there who are not like any of these guys I've spoken about, then, you know, it's going to help me anyway to feel more healthy towards having a possible relationship in the future if I decide I want to do that again, right? But as it stands, with my trust so depleted with guys in terms of a relationship, and guys who are not honest and who are just not trustworthy, and, you know, are all over the place and unstable, a lot of them I've come across, then, you know, if I can restore my faith in some guys, that there are genuinely good guys out there, faithful guys, honest guys, loving guys, committed guys, you know, and if I can just, you know, even be friends with these type of guys, it's going to be a lot better for me, because then I'm going to be able to see the difference between them and the people I was interested in romantically. You know, I already have good friendships, right? I've developed over the years very, very good ways of being friends with someone, developed boundaries and assertiveness with friends, become a better person as a friend for them as well. Obviously everything's a learning curve, and still got to keep improving yourself. So it's really, really important. But now I'm prioritizing friendships over romantic relationships, over looking for a romantic relationship. I mean, friends, if they're the right friends and good and healthy friends for you, will always be there in some way, shape or form in your life. If they're not there anymore in the future, it means they're not meant to be in it. If someone leaves your life, it means they've made space for another more suitable person to come into your life. So, you know, I'm prioritizing friendships over any relationship. I've just this morning, the early hours, connected with a guy who's in my city, who's a young foreign guy. I'm not looking to date him or get into a relationship with him. I just want to know him as a person and hopefully socialize with him a bit, hang out with him a bit, if that's possible, if we get on and stuff like that. You know, so from the little bit he spoke to me in voice message on Messenger, he sounds like a really intelligent guy, likes to grow and develop himself, is interested in me as a person and my book publishing work I do, and didn't really bat an eyelid too much when I mentioned I'm asexual, and that's my niche that I write about usually the most. And I do a YouTube show for asexuals. I told him that as well. And he just seems like he's a night owl as well, like me. And he just seems like he might be a nice person for me to get on with. We've got a video chat on Thursday, because I don't, you know, if I don't know this person, because this person I've connected with on Facebook through someone, he came up in my people you may know, and I noticed he was in my city. So yeah, and he happens to be housemates with the Indian guy that I'm friends with. So that's how that's come about. I didn't know that though at the time. And yeah, and so you know, I was just really nice talking to him. He seems a really pleasant person to talk to. He's not Indian himself. He's foreign but not Indian. I have no idea how old he is exactly, but I'm guessing his 20s. And yeah, and I just feel that maybe that would be nice to have him as a friend. See how that goes. But I said I want a video chat with him first before meeting up in person. So it'd be nice if that went well. I don't know if he just wants to talk to me about business stuff because he's doing business management type of course, and obviously I'm doing book publishing. I'm, like, so it might just be for that reason he wants to connect more than for the personality stuff. I don't know, or it might be both. But I just want to see where it goes. But it's my mission in the next year to focus on a book publishing business, to getting the Asexual Guide to Sex book out and a big launch for that. Very important for raising awareness of asexuality. I'm still finishing that at the moment. I'm currently doing personal and professional development education about book publishing to learn more about the industry. And and I want to expand my social circle next year, get more friends in my city, or at least socialize with people in my city more in my mindset and lifestyle age. And I just think that's going to be really good going forward. I've just gained so much more by giving up the idea of getting into a romantic relationship anytime soon. In fact, it kind of turns me off a bit now. It is still difficult because, of course, when the guy asked me for a long distance relationship in the second message, it's a red flag. But also because he doesn't know me and I don't know him. But also it was nice of him to say that as well. I did think it's very sweet. And if he was in the UK, then I might have got to know him. But he's seen my videos and some of the work I do, so that's nice. But I'm not going to go with a guy who I don't even know. That would just be ludicrous and ridiculous, and he can't make me happy. I know that just because of that. So yeah, so I would rather be with a guy in my city than a guy abroad. If I found the right guy in my city, I would rather be with like even a heterosexual guy if he could live without sex, which most of them can't. I'd rather be with someone like that, real, here in person, than have some long online long distance relationship where I never actually get to see the person, kiss them, cuddle them. You can't have a real proper relationship. It's just like, to me that's a bit, to me that personally isn't what I want. I don't see that as a good thing. I think the majority of online relationships, the majority, not all, but the majority of them, especially if they go on and on and on for many years, they don't survive, a lot of them, because someone's got to move in the end. You can't just have an online relationship all the time. It's not good, and I need a person who's going to communicate with me a lot and be like a best friend and keep in touch throughout the day and that type of thing. And so yeah, I haven't met a suitable guy like that. The last guy, we messaged each other a lot and I liked that part of the situation, but obviously that wasn't a good situation in the end for me, but that part of the connection was good. So I liked that bit, but anyway, I'm prioritizing friendship now over a romantic relationship. I'm trying not to get romantically attracted to the guy that I'm speaking to on Thursday. I'm trying to just think of him as a friend already, hopefully, a person who I should hopefully be able to get on well with and hang out with, and try not to get too romantically attracted to him or anything like that. I mean, he's not ugly, if you know what I mean. He's clean shaven, young foreign guy. So of course, but I'm trying not to think about him in a romantic way as much as possible, and he's very intelligent from what I can tell. So I like that, already. So I'll see where that goes. I don't want to get my hopes up even for a friendship. I've got 3 really good best friends anyway. So that's amazing. And, I just think it's important to prioritize friendship because friends tend to like stick around a lot longer. You tend to understand your friends more and more over time. Like, if you rush into a romantic relationship, there's a lot of things you don't actually know about the person. And months down the line, you can have a rude awakening to think, oh my God, this person never told me about this. I didn't know this about this person. I don't like this about the person. They're not suitable for me. and that can cause a whole lot of bother, you know. But if you actually get to know someone as a friend, I mean, I've learnt stuff about my friends that my best friends, for example, that I didn't even know till like a couple of years later. And they're my friends, right? So I'm not intimate with them. I'm not seeing them every day. But if you get into a relationship with someone and you find like 2 years down the line, they're different from what you thought they were, but you're having to spend every single day of your life with that person, and the way they're different affects you in a romantic relationship sense, that's going to be a lot more harder. So I think with any relationship you get into, it's much better, preferably, to have known that person for at least a couple of years first, ideally. You know, I mean, I've had my last long-term ex that was with 8.5 years. I knew him 8 months as a friend before I got into a relationship with him, but he changed when I got into a relationship with him. You know, he became very controlling and abusive, right? So, and I've done a pattern changing course with Safe Stop Abuse for Everyone. And one of the women there, she was married, and it wasn't until 2 years later the husband started being abusive, you know? So nothing's guaranteed. You don't know what's going to happen. Of course, some friendships are abusive as well. In the past, I had friendships that were very one-sided. They didn't really care about me. Now I've got a lot more healthy relationships and people who really do care about me and love me as a friend. And so that's much better for me. And, you know, I'm glad to have those people in my life. You know who you are. And so, yeah, I just think, you know, when you give up the idea of a romantic relationship, whether that's for a period of time or indefinitely, you can actually gain so much other stuff if you've been like me and very proactive or focused on it, thinking about it for a long period of time, and all you've got is heartache and pain. You know, it's much better to then focus your time and attention and efforts onto people that have been in your life, that care about you, that want you in their life, i.e. the friends, spending more time with them, more quality time, more time messaging them. But also, you know, using the time you would have been looking for a romantic relationship to also, you know, prioritize other things in your life. And I just feel a lot more happier going forward that I'm now much more focused on writing books that changed lives, writing more and more books for asexuals, still finishing off the Asexual Guide to Sex book, and learning much more about the book publishing industry. You know, I feel like now I just don't want to waste any time looking for a guy. You know, the right guy, if the right guy is out there for me, he will literally show up in my life one day, I believe. But at the moment, I'm not ready for a relationship at the moment. I just don't want one. I don't need one. I'm not even interested in that very much at all anymore. I'm not even thinking I want that anymore. I'm thinking stay away from that. Don't go there. Relationship's not suitable for you, Sandra. You're better off being single. You're an individualist. You're a lot more calmer on your own. You've got a lot more confidence on your own. I mean, since I've got away from all that relationship stuff, my confidence has soared again. I've become a lot more happier again in myself, a lot more calmer, a lot more peaceful, because I'm self-dating and I'm enjoying my life a lot more now, going out on my own more, socializing more. Well, I say socializing, it's not necessarily hanging around with those people at the moment. It's more like, because I'm social distancing, it's more like I'm around people more, going out more, you know. But you know, I'll still socialize more, I think, in general, since that. So yeah, I think it's, you know, I think it's just much better to focus on other things rather than a romantic relationship. And I just think it's really good that now I've seen that, you know, because there is a lot of people who do prioritize a romantic relationship over other things. I've never ever thought that romantic relationship, since I've been found out I was asexual in 2014, I've not thought, you know, and got really good friends, which I got my best friends 2017 or a bit earlier than that. But my best female friend 2012, you know. So since then, I haven't actually, you know, like prioritized a romantic relationship as such. Like, I've always held friendship in high regard, but even more so when I got my asexual best friend, you know. So I've made a huge shift and change in that, you know, because I see that friendships can last a lot longer than romantic relationships. I think it's sad that some romantic relationships don't last like that, but I also think it's a positive thing what's happened to me. Even though I've had a lot of trauma and very negative experiences, I'm really glad that this has happened to me, in the sense that now I totally feel like I can end that relationship search, the romantic relationship search, and finally just look after myself now, just move forward with my life. It's not like I haven't tried and put enough time, energy and effort into it, but now it's a time for me. It's a time for me to come into my own, to be stronger, to have more confidence. Like, since I've been de-traumatizing myself a lot, as much as possible, working out care plans for myself, and just talking and being around my friends a lot more. Thank you. Lots of love. I just feel that now I'm much more in a much more confident position. I feel a lot happier in myself. I feel glad now that I'm prioritizing friendships over a romantic relationship. I feel really glad I'm not seeking that out anymore. And this time I really mean it. Like, before, in the past, it's been a temporary thing, right? It's been like, oh, I've had some trauma and it didn't end well, but I'm still going to carry on looking. But now I just don't want to go on Facebook dating. I don't see a need to be doing dating or looking for a relationship anymore. I'm a lot more content in myself. I feel just so much calmer. I was in a lot of anxiety-induced state when I was doing that. And I can feel in my body now that I'm a lot more calmer. It's partly as well because I'm pursuing writing more. I've stopped, like, in terms of my personal professional life, kind of like, not so much within asexuality, but other stuff. Like, I've studied entrepreneurship since 2012. I've still got active interest in that. I've still got an audience for that on my Quirky Books blog, right? But I've learned a lot of stuff about different things you can go into business-wise and that. But there's nothing that gives me as much enthusiasm or passion or joy as writing. Really, I just have to write. And that's what I want to focus over the next 1 to 2 years the most, writing books and succeeding more with writing books and publishing books. It's very important. There's so many, well, there's the Asexual Guide to Sex, which is the next book that's going to be out for asexuals. I keep saying this, but I'm still working on it. And and then I've got another 2 books after that I know for definite I want to get out for asexuals. The next one, I've got people wanting to be in it and buy it. I've got people wanting to buy the other one as well, so the 4th one. So after this Asexual Guide set, I've got 2 more books, but my main focus for the once I've got the Asexual Guide to Sex book out, it's going to be 3 months promotion as much as possible. I need your help getting the word out there when it comes out. It's going to be very, very important to get reviews and the word out and everything, because this book can literally change the whole course of history where sexuality is concerned. There is so many myths and stereotypes about asexuality. I mean, I had a guy, or person, I presume it was a guy, being really cheeky to me on another channel going, oh, do you know what asexuality means? I mean, how insulting is that, considering I am asexual in the first place, which clearly he isn't. And because he's like, why do you want a relationship if you're asexual? I'm like, because I still desire kissing, romance, public displays of affection. I don't do that with my friends. And it's like, oh, do you know what asexuality means? I'm like, it's so condescending. It's like, of course I know what asexuality means. I'm an asexual person. Been educating people about asexuality for over 5 years now. That's what I mean. There's so many myths and stereotypes we really need to bust through. People think that all, have this image or this stereotype that asexuals, don't do anything relationship wise, and they just like don't need anyone or need to kiss or cuddle or touch or do anything. It's just ridiculous. So even some aromantic asexuals, those that lack romantic attraction, it's still like some of them still like some physical affection. And so it's just a lot of myths. And I really, the more books I sell, the more books I write for asexuals, the more I can get asexuality recognised globally as a sexual orientation in its own right. So no asexual has to live in fear of ridicule ever again. And I just think my mind, my aim now, my vision in life is just much more career focused. At the moment, currently, I'm not so thinking about kissing like I used to be. That used to be a big problem for me. I don't really need that at the moment. If I do, I'll kiss myself. And so I'm much more like thinking about other stuff now, not a relationship, not dating. And I do still want, to, like I said, to expand my friendships and social circles, particularly in my city. I think it would be really healthy for me to have some people, particularly younger foreign guys, to go out with in my city, just to be friends with them, just to experience experiences with them, just to understand different cultures more, just to understand, like, and be around some guys that are a lot nicer and a lot more healthy, and hopefully, and and just to have those experiences, like, it'd be nice to go to cinema sometimes with a guy who's just my friend, or out for a meal or something like that, just to hang out and socialize, and without all the pressure of dating or relationship or any of that type of stuff. I don't want that anymore. I'm done with that. I'd rather be myself in a friendship, just laugh, joke, do what I like, do what I want when I want, go for my career, just do what do just be with myself and be happy, really. And I see the value so much in friendships compared to what I used to do. you know um because I see friendships as so very important for support, for being there on your darkest days as well as on your good days, for just having that continual kind of like comfort and base, to kind of call home in a way, like Andy has been around my home so much looking after me this year, particularly when I broke my ankle. He's like family now. I mean, even one of my housemates who wrote a card to me and Andy. We're not a couple. We're just really good, like best friends. But obviously I got my best friend Sam as well. Best asexual friend Sam. Andy isn't asexual. He thought he was for a while. Because he's romantically attracted to women, but sexually attracted to guys. And he didn't really investigate the guy thing very much until later on. So yes, he didn't really realise that. So yes, anyway, it's just like he's part of my family in, in the sense he's round here and helping with shopping and kind of like part of the furniture in a nice way, if you know what I mean. So, like a comfy armchair. I find this whole YouTube channel like a comfy armchair. But my best asexual friend Sam is amazing. Whenever I'm with them, I feel I can totally be myself with them. I don't have any worries or fears or anything like that. I totally trust them 100%. They're the only person in the world that I've 100% trusted, especially within a course of 3 days. Just amazing. And my friend Debbie stuck up for me when I was being bullied and been there for me. I wish her a really good life with her guy in the new country soon. Fiance, I should say now, because they're engaged. Congratulations to you if you're watching. So yeah, so I just see the importance and value of friends a lot more. I think relationships come and go, dates come and go, and I think unless categorically you can get someone you totally trust 100%, who's 100% honest and 100% faithful in a relationship, and you have no doubt or question about them being faithful and honest to you and trustworthy other people, I just think it's no-go. There is no point in getting into a relationship with someone who you have any doubt about trusting whatsoever, because that's just asking for trouble, And so, I don't have any friends that would be suitable for a relationship for me who I 100% trust. Like I said, I only 100% trust my best asexual friend Sam. We're not suitable for a relationship. They've got a partner. I'm too female for them. So we're not that type of people for each other. We're amazing asexual friends, best friends, best friends forever, but nothing more in terms of anything else. So yeah, so unless I find a romantic guy suitable for a relationship who I 100% trust as much as I trust Sam as a friend, then it's going to be no go, because I just don't want to live a life with someone that's any less than what I've already got with my friends, um I know my friends would look after my life, like Andy this year has taken such good care of me. He has made a lot of sacrifices to be here at times of me being really poorly and having a lot of pain with my ankle, and looking after me when, um he's got himself to look after as well. So I really appreciate him, and I think, if we can value our friends and we have good, healthy relationship with friends, then it's a lot more obvious when someone comes into our life after a period of time if they're not going to be a good friend or if they're not going to be suitable for a relationship or anything else. I think once you have healthier friendship relationships, you're much more likely to be able to eventually get a healthy romantic or other relationship. But like I said, I'm happy that I've given up dating. I'm happy that I've given up looking for a relationship. It's not for me at the moment, and I certainly don't want to go there ever again with a guy who's in another country. I think it's big trouble. I don't think it's a good idea. You have to understand that I live in the UK, and the majority of foreign guys that are interested in me cannot get a visa to get over here, right? So you're much better, if you live in the UK and don't want marriage particularly, to get a guy who's already in the UK or can come of his own accord. The guy that I spoke to in the early hours of this morning, who I just want to be friends with, who's in my city, he paid a lot of money to get into the country, but he did it himself, And people who can get into the UK by themselves, and don't give me all this rubbish about, oh, it's so hard to get into, you have to have so much money. It's like, yes, you might have to have a lot of money, but these guys actually work hard to get the money to come over here. If you want something so bad enough, you go and get it, and you'll work your butt off to do it. You know what I mean? And that's what a guy does if they're dedicated to doing that. If a guy's dedicated to his study in the UK, to being here, he will go and do that for himself. He'll work out, how much money do I need, right? How many jobs do I need to work to get that money? Even if he has to work 3 jobs, he will go and get the money to do that, or whatever he wants to do with his life, because when you really want something badly, you dedicate your time and life to doing it if you really want to do it and you succeed at it, right? And, for me, with my book publishing business, now I've stopped dating, stopped looking for a relationship. Now I can focus on getting a lot more skills needed to publish more books and sell more books. And in that way, helping more asexuals, because the majority of my books are for asexuals. I just keep coming up with more and more ideas to write books for asexuals, right? And so, when you're got more focus and more clarity in your life, it's just so much better. And I'd rather have, a lot, my beautiful best friends, my 3 best friends I have, and get some other friends in my city, because I don't have any friends in my city. Yeah. So I'd rather do that than keep pursuing dating relationships that's just ended up me being very heartbroken and traumatized at the time, and not feeling good and just feeling highly anxiety induced and just having really negative emotions. Now I've got rid of that. I've worked out that, yes, Sandra, you can stop now. 7.5 years is enough, because I like to practice what I preach. If I'm on this channel, I'm saying what you need to do to find a relationship. I like to be able to, do what I say, right? Which has been proactively searching for someone for 7.5 years, right? But if thing's not working, then you have to change it, because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same result, right? And if that's what I'm doing, but things are only getting worse for me, not better, I need to stop it, right? And also, I like to share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours, and express how important it is that when you've got to a stage where you've had so much relationship trauma or trauma from dating relationships, it's time to stop, because you cannot attract a healthy person yourself if you have a lot of trauma and stuff like that going on. You distrust people. I distrust guys in a relationship now even more than I've ever done, right? And that is sad to say that, but it's the truth, and it's a truth that I had to face, right? There is categorically no way that I could have a healthy, happy relationship with any guy at the moment, because I just don't trust a guy for a relationship. I really don't. And so I've always thought, throughout my life that guys, personally, this is what I thought, in my experience, I've always thought guys are better as a friend than in a relationship. I've always had that experience to date. Doesn't mean to say it's always going to be like that, as in I could never get a guy in a relationship that might be good for me in the future if I wanted that, but I don't even want that right now. I'm not even looking to date or get into a relationship this year or next year, possibly for the next 5 years. It might be indefinitely. If my emotions and my life is so much better and happier without having a guy for a relationship, then there'll be no reason for me to actually seek a relationship out with a guy anymore or do dating anymore, because I have everything I need within me, within my life, my career, and I can just be happy dating myself. I've dated myself a lot more lately, and I have to say it's a very healthy practice for me. You know, because I do have a romantic nature, which I'm trying to curb the hyper romanticism part, the hyper part, you know, because I do have a romantic nature, you know, and self-dating is really good for my soul, and it's really good for that kind of special, magical, excited feeling, and to just take myself out, you know, because if I was with a guy, you know, and we were going out on dates, I would do a lot of the stuff that I do on my own with him, but I don't need to be with a guy because I can do all this stuff on my own and I have less hassle and I don't need to be told what to do and or dominated or told you've picked the wrong film or what did you watch this for or why are you doing this at this time of night or go to bed, blah blah blah, and all the rest of it. I live a very different, young, quirky, individualistic life, and I love it like that. I love living like a teenager. Whenever I'm not looking for relationship or dating and I'm not in that scenario, not in that trauma, I actually start getting younger again. I notice this about myself. I start going back to being my young teenager self again. And, you know, I love it, you know, and I feel sometimes when I'm interested in a relationship or pursuing dating or having a dating scenario with a guy, usually I end up unhappy and I end up feeling or getting or looking a little bit older sometimes. And I don't like that, you know, because it's like, it's not who I am. I'm not this old person or old person in that way. I'm young, energetic, vibrant, quirky teenager self, you know, and when I go back to being who I truly am, not what society dictates, because I don't go by society. I don't go by, oh, you're this birth certificate age, you need to behave like this. You're this birth certificate age, you need to look like that. It's hell no. F that, you know. I'm not being that way. Just because you're a certain birth certificate age doesn't mean to say you have to dress a certain way, act a certain way, be a certain way, think a certain way. You know, and there are more and more women these days breaking those stereotypes. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting, all these stereotypes, you know. Like, so I remember having a guy, a date with a guy on Facebook dating, and he literally came on camera. It's like, can you show me your room again? Like, can I see it? As though he was expecting me to have this really old-fashioned house or something, or act like my birth certificate. She's like, no, I have cuddly toys around me, sparkly things, coloured boxes. I'm young, energetic, vibrant girl. I'm not this old person you might suspect that someone might be. Like, it's just like, I'm not even anything near my birth certificate age. I'm not like that at all, you know? And so I think it's really important to break these myths and stereotypes, you know? And unless I found a guy that I 100% trust for a relationship, I'm not even going there, right? There's a guy, an Indian guy I'm friends with online. I've been friends with him for a very long time, right? As a friend, I can trust him. But as in terms of relationship, I had this conversation with him. I couldn't do that because of something he did in the past. But he's a really nice friend, and I'll probably always have him as an online friend. You know, but you know, I've told him, like, because he said that he liked me more than a friend, which is lovely. You know, I've always had romantic feelings and aesthetic attraction for him, but you know, it's no good to have a relationship with someone who you can't trust, right? And I always believe that if you do get into a relationship with someone, that person should be a best friend to you. They should be a best friend, a soulmate, and someone who you can rely on. You know, a relationship, including a romantic relationship, is teamwork. It's teamwork. It's team effort. It should have a foundation of friendship. You cannot have any healthy relationship without a foundation of friendship being there, in my opinion. It's just not going to work, because you need to know that that person's with you through thick and thin, that they care about you, they respect you as a friend as well as a romantic relationship person, if you're in a romantic relationship, that they would never hurt you, that they would never disrespect you, not intentionally, especially, you know, but they wouldn't put you down or belittle you. They'd be appreciative of you being in their life. They'd want to spend time with you. They'd want to care about you. They'd want to chat to you about anything and everything. They'd want to listen to what you have to say. They'd want to respect what you have to say, even if they don't agree with it. They wouldn't want to tell you what to do or boss you around, and they want to be in your life in a really good, positive way. They would be thinking about a life together, not a life apart. You know, they would be not making put down comments or anything like that. They'd really be encouraging you to live your goals, ambitions, and dreams. You know, even a healthy relationship is someone who encourages you in your dreams, who someone wants to see the best happen for you. Like, don't get me wrong, like with my best female friend, I've been in tears lately because she's leaving to go to Turkey with her partner, but I'm still so really happy for her because she's going to live her dream. It's her dream to like retire to a foreign country where there's beaches and, you know, house paid for, and they can just sit near the beach and they have a swimming pool and all this lot. That's her dream with a guy who loves her, right? She'll get that dream, right? And that is truly inspirational. And whilst I'm, you know, going to miss her implicitly, and I have been crying a lot about that, you know, because, you know, I don't want her to go in terms of like I care about her as a friend. I want her to go for her because I want her to be happy, you know. And I just think friendships are just like, you know, they can be just as heartbreaking as a relationship if that person leaves and goes somewhere else, like to another country. But you know, you've still got the friendship there. Whereas if you end a relationship and the other person goes away, it's kind of the end of that relationship, really, because it's been a romantic relationship. Unless you decide to be friends afterwards, it's very difficult to be friends with someone you've been in a relationship with, though, in my opinion. Very difficult, right? But you know, some people do. But you know, I just really value friendship now more than a romantic relationship. I value my own time more than wasting time looking for a guy that currently is clearly not going to appear for me. And I realize that now, that it's like I'm not wasting any more of my life and time searching for a guy who some people might not even think he exists, but whether he does or he doesn't, I do believe there's someone for everyone out there if they want it. But at the end of the day, you know, I don't want a relationship anymore for the foreseeable future. I'm happy now. And with friendships, you get, you know, you get familiarity with friendships. You get that companionship. You get that camaraderie. You get like laughs. I laugh far more with friends usually than I've ever done in a relationship. I think I've always laughed more with friends than ever on dates or anything like that. I can be myself around my friends more. I think me and my friends have got very good ways of communicating with each other very effectively, saying if there's something that we're not happy with, or finding ways to compromise or around things. I just feel like friendships for me are a much more healthier thing. And I think that romantic relationships, you know, tend to still be based on some sort of romantic chemistry going on, romantic intensity, romantic excitement that actually colours the reality of some of the actual situation of what's going on, where you're not compatible, the person's not right for you or not good for you, and it just ends up in disaster sometimes, you know. But I'm glad finally that I've had enough trauma to know that I'm not now pursuing a relationship or dating scenario. I think after 7.5 years, I can categorically say I gave it a good go. And I think I would be doing you an injustice if I was to say to you, if you were in my position, to stay looking for a relationship for the hell of it and the sake of it, just to prove that you're still being proactive doing that. Right? Because at the end of the day, sometimes you have to make a decision in your life that something is not right for you anymore, and change course and direction in your life. And oftentimes it's the best thing you can do for yourself. You know, I'm still going to be running the asexual dating groups that I run. I'm still going to encourage people who want a relationship to go for it as much as possible, whilst also sharing some thoughts sometimes and my experience. I know there are asexuals in beautiful relationships, some with other asexuals and some with people who are not asexual, very loving, kind, caring, committed relationships. And, I would say by and large, their partner's, a best friend to them, right? That's why it works so well. And because they just have that bestest ever friendship. I have not found that in an actual romantic relationship, with potential romantic relationship, in a healthy friendship way. I haven't found that, and so now's the time to kind of put that to bed for now, or put that to rest, or whatever you want to call it, and just move on with my life. But I'm feel a lot more calmer and peaceful not doing that anymore. I think for me personally, I'm so independent. I so know my own mind. I so know what I do and don't want in a relationship. And a guy really has got to put a lot of time, energy, and effort into communicating with me, being with me, spending time with me, and really appreciate who I am as a person, and be 100% faithful and honest and trustworthy, and have strong boundaries with other people. I haven't come across that guy in relationship terms yet. I've come across friends like that. I've got friends like that. Friends that are picky who they're friends with. My friends, like, for example, they don't have loads of Facebook friends. My best friends, they are more selective about who they choose to have as a friend, what they choose to tell to other people. They'll share secrets with me that they don't share with other people, and vice versa. Although I say a lot on this channel. And it's just a lot more healthier, and I'm so pleased that I can say finally I prioritize friendships now over a romantic relationship, because I'm not even looking for a romantic relationship anymore, and I'm certainly looking to continue to grow, develop, and maintain and sustain in a healthy, loving, caring, committed way friendships with the people that I'm already deeply committed to in friendship terms, and to growing my friendship base, particularly in my city, with others as well, especially socializing. It'd be nice if I made some good friends as well in my city. I'd really appreciate that. But if it doesn't happen, I'm okay, because I've got loads of work to do and stuff. But I would like that. It is a goal of mine to make some friends with guys, preferably around in their 20s, just to be friends with them, hang out with them, and I think doing that as well will make it even less needy of a relationship, romantic relationship, because it'll be like, well, I can already have that type of life with younger foreign guys, but without the romance, without the kissing, and just getting to know them as friends. And I think, like I said, just to build that trust up again with younger foreign guys is important, because at the moment my trust is really broken with that, and not every foreign guy's a bad guy, not every foreign guy is unemotionally available, not every foreign guy can't get to the UK or stay in the UK. Not every foreign guy needs marriage to be in a relationship, Not every foreign guy's dominating and controlling. Not every foreign guy's not good for me. There'll be some foreign guys that are good to at least hang out with, So yeah, I'm looking forward to 2022, to be honest. I'm still enjoying the rest of this year at the moment. I'm learning a lot about, like I said, the book publishing business at the moment. I'm actively doing personal and professional development work with that, learning a lot more skills and insights into things I didn't know before and didn't realize. And so, I just feel I'm growing as a person now. I feel more productive. I feel happier. I've got more direction and clarity. And I feel like I'm not going around in circles chasing my tail anymore, because I'm not focusing on relationships and dating anymore. I think that's a waste of time for me now. I see that now it's a waste of time and life for me personally, because that's not what I want anymore. I don't even want to be in a relationship anymore. I like my freedom, and I like being Sandra Bellamy and just being by myself. I prefer it now, So I would urge you to consider friendships as a high priority over a romantic relationship. And, if you do get into a romantic relationship, please always remember the friendships you have, and maintain and sustain those friendships, because they are literally the foundation of a huge part of your life, and you should always appreciate what you have in front of you. If, however, you do get into a relationship, right, then there might be some sacrifice you need to see, as in you might not be able to see your friends as much, but your friends, if they're good friends, should accept that, because obviously if my best friend's with their partner, then their partner needs time with them, and I understand that. You shouldn't be a selfish friend, you should be a loving, caring friend, enough to know that when your best friends do have partners, that they are going to obviously need time with them as well, and they can't spend as much time with you because they have to divide their attention with them as well. So I think that's very important to do that as well as a friend. A good friend would be encouraging healthy relationship with their partner as well, where they do spend quality time with them. So you can't hog all the time with you if you're someone's best friend. That's why it's good if you can have a few best friends, not just one best friend. Like years ago, I only used to ever look for one best friend. And, it would be great in an ideal world sometimes if you just had one best friend, they were just your best friend, that's all you needed. But that's not really practical. It's not really healthy. Because, like I said, my best female friend, she's moving to Turkey with her partner next month, January 2022. And so if I didn't have my best friend Sam or my best friend Andy, and all I had was her, then, where would I be? I would feel even more bad that she's leaving, right? And more upset, because I would feel like I was being abandoned, rejected, didn't have anyone for me, even though she's not doing that. She's not leaving my life for good, as in she'll still try and keep in contact with me in the future, not for a couple of months, she said, because she's busy sorting her stuff out. But but my best friend Andy and my best asexual friend Sam, they usually talk to me every day in private message, particularly my best asexual friend Sam, the majority of the time Andy too, whereas my best female friend, she doesn't actually keep in contact with me directly for weeks sometimes. So it's not like I'm missing out there, if you know what I mean. But I value them all dearly, and so if you do get into a relationship, understand that you still need to maintain a lot of time with your friends, but obviously you're going to have to dedicate some time to your partner as well. If your partner's your best friend as well, then it'll be another like best friend you have, so then you'll have to spend time with all your best friends, right? But I do have the other opinion as well, is that sometimes, particularly with foreign guys, I see foreign guys treating their best mates better than they would treat their girlfriend. And I do think foreign guys need to realise that you should treat your woman as good as you treat your male best friends, whilst remembering that they're not, a male best friend, because you might say things to your male best friends that you wouldn't want to say to your female partner, right? If the partner's female. But because I have seen some foreign guys and they pay so much more attention to their friends and give them so much brotherly love, yet with their women they don't even speak to them like that very lovingly. So I think that's another mistake that some foreign guys make, right? So if you're listening to this and you're a younger foreign guy, always remember to treat your woman just like you would treat a friend as a brother. There are a lot of foreign guys that call their male friends brothers because they're like a brother to them because they're so close. But if you have that closeness with your woman, if you treat her like like a best friend, like you do your male friends, then your relationship would be so much more healthier and happier with the woman, right? But instead, some foreign guys, they tend to disassociate the woman from being like a real best friend like their guys are, and they're much more like really kind and caring to their guy best friend than they are their female partner, which is wrong as well, so you need to be as loving, caring, committed and kind to your female partner as you would a male friend. And obviously you should be treating your male friends with respect as well, kindness and caringness. I've seen some guys that don't treat their male friends very well either, and it's like, what's going on with that? But I've seen other, like I said, foreign guys who treat their male best friends better than their wife even, and stuff like that. It's like, what's going on? You should be treating your wife like, your bestest friend in the world, along with your other best friends. But for me personally, I'm just glad that now I'm really into valuing my friends more, because I'm not looking for a relationship anymore. I'm not dating anymore, but my friends are still a huge part of my life, and they're a big focus for me to make sure they're happy as much as they can be, and they're feeling good as much as they can be, and spend quality time messaging them and spending quality time with them, either that in person or by video chat, and and just I really value spending time with myself a lot more lately, like going out with myself. I feel so good. To do all this self-dating just feels amazing. And I would rather go out on self-date with myself than end up dating a guy who just can't give me the nice time that I can give myself, because I can eat what I want, do what I want when I want, and just have fun and enjoy life, because that's what life should be about. Life shouldn't be a slog, and that like I have relationship anxiety and dating anxiety and stuff, and I don't want to be in that state of anxiety. It's very unhealthy for me, very bad for my body, very bad for me, and I don't want to do that anymore. I just want to be free to be me, to be happy, to live a good life. I've got my whole life ahead of me. It really irritates me when people, I don't know, I think sometimes foreign guys, because their mothers like marry really super young and have kids so super young, and like they seem to think my birth certificate age is like old or something. It's like, it's not old. I'm not even middle aged yet, for freaking heck's sake. In the UK, many women live in their 90s, 100 and something these days. I'm not even middle aged. Do you know what I mean? I'm not near to 50. You know what I mean? I'm younger than that. And and like middle-aged isn't old either. And so it really irritates me when these younger foreign guys, like some younger foreign guys, they don't speak like that to me. Of course they wouldn't, because they don't think of me as like this older person. They think of me as just like wiser, and sometimes will have more experience in some things. But younger guys have a lot of experience of different stuff, right? I really like younger guys because they bring a lot to the table. They usually develop and grow themselves like I am, the healthy ones anyway and stuff. Isn't romantic relationships like friendships, but much closer in the long run? No. Romantic relationships involve kissing, cuddling, holding hands. And I would never ever do that with any of my friends, So from that point of view, a romantic relationship, thank you for the question though, is very different. Because it's a good question, because I get asked that particularly by people who aren't asexual. They don't understand why someone who's romantic and asexual would want a relationship, or why some asexual would want a relationship in the first place. But with my friends, I don't go kissing them, right? I don't go cuddling them. I don't go holding their hand, right? These are things that I reserve for a romantic relationship, if I had one, right? That I'm physically close to someone in a romantic relationship, right? It's very different to a friendship in that sense. I don't want to kiss my friends. That would be gross to me, right? One of my friends is female. I'm not attracted to females. My other two are, one's non-binary, one's gender fluid. But like assigned male at birth, if you like. But I like, so I don't just want a friend for a relationship, right? If I was looking for a relationship still, I don't want just a friend for a relationship, but I would want a friend. Oh, hi Marcelo, bon nuit. Oh, thank you. Lots of love. Always nice to see you. But the friendship is the foundation of any good relationship. So whether it's a romantic relationship or you are with a sexual, like a heterosexual relationship, I'm talking about relationship. I'm not talking about one night stand or something casual or something like short term. I'm talking about if you're in a relationship with anyone, even if you're in a relationship with a heterosexual, for example, someone who isn't asexual, then you should still, in order for it to be healthy and long lasting, have a friendship base foundation, because even heterosexuals are not having sex every single minute of every single day. There's going to be days when they're tired when they come in from work. If you're in a relationship, there's going to be days when they're tired and they just don't want to have sex, right? You don't stop loving your person or stop being in a relationship with them just because they don't have sex in that time. And so an asexual relationship that doesn't involve sex is very similar to a relationship with a sexual person when the sexual person isn't in the mood or isn't having sex for whatever reason, right? It's still, all the other components are usually there. There might still be some kisses, hello and goodbye, some holding hands, some saying I love you, and physically closeness, and cuddling and stuff like that, right? So someone was like saying to me earlier, like, why do you want, of course, friendships and romantic relationships are different, but I mean the conversation bit. I agree with you that the foundation is good communication. Well, if I was having a conversation with thank you for your question. If I was having a conversation with a guy I was romantically interested in, right, I would also be talking to him about kissing and where I like to kiss him. Because I'm an asexual that loves kissing. I'm quite rare in that respect, by the way. There's not loads of asexuals that love kissing as much as I do. So I wouldn't just be talking about movies and stuff like that and intellectual stuff. I'd also be talking about where I want to kiss him, how I want to kiss him, how long I want to kiss him for. So it kind of ramp up the kissing excitement. It would kind of ramp up the attraction between me and him. Whereas my friends, I don't go around asking that. Also, in a relationship, you'd want, like, if you're in a relationship, you need to have the deal breakers being the same. As in, if I don't want sex, I need someone in a relationship that doesn't want sex also, because I don't want a polyamorous relationship. I don't want kids, so I need a person who doesn't want kids. I don't want marriage, so I need a person who doesn't need marriage. Now, in a friendship, it doesn't matter if these people want kids, marriage, or sex, or they don't want sex. It's not going to affect me because they're going to have someone else for their partner. I'm not providing any of that or going to, because it's just a friendship. So, this is how friendships and romantic relationships differ, because a relationship is someone that you're going to see more, even your friends speak to more, have intimate moments with. You're going to be planning a future together, as in more intimate future, whether that's living together or spending much more time together in person, or much more time even online together. You're going to be in each other's faces a lot more. You're going to be around each other a lot more. Like your friends, you might see like once a week. You might only see them once a month. My friends don't even live in my city at the moment. The majority of my friends, my 3 best friends, don't live in my city. One's moving away, like I said, to Turkey, and like, I have an Indian guy who I've become friends with in my city, but we hardly see each other. He's nice as a person, but like we've only seen each other like once in terms of meeting up, and twice I've seen him when he's been working, twice or 3 times. Well, I've just been passing, driving on a bicycle, because he does delivery pizzas as a job. So really, my friends, who I consider true friends, if you like, who I've known for a time, they don't live in my city. And the Indian guy I haven't seen. I took poorly when he last wanted to see me. So I haven't seen him apart from when he's been doing his rounds, his pizza. He works a lot and studies a lot. And so like, a romantic relationship does have different elements to it, because there's different expectations for a romantic relationship than it is a friendship. In a friendship, it kind of doesn't matter what you do so much in terms of how you live your life, your lifestyle, and your goals, ambitions, and dreams for the future. They don't really affect someone as much as if you're in a intimate romantic relationship with someone. Because if you're in an intimate romantic relationship, you've kind of got to make decisions in your life that will affect you both. If I decide, which I've already decided, I want kids, it's not going to affect a friendship, because my friends don't want kids with me, or not want kids with me. They wouldn't look to me for that, Same as marriage. If they want marriage, it don't matter to me where they get married, because they wouldn't be marrying me, because I'm not interested in them in that way. So this is how a friendship is different to a romantic relationship, for example. Like I said, a romantic relationship, you're probably going to end up spending a lot more physical time together, a lot more intimate time together. Decisions you make are going to affect the other person a lot more. Like my friend that's moving to Turkey next month, that makes me really sad and upset, right? But she's moving with her partner. I'm not interested in women romantically, right? But, it would affect me a lot more if, I'm not a partner, I'm not interested in being a partner. So, what I'm trying to say is her partner would be a lot more affected by her decision to move. Like, she's moving with him. But just imagine if he wanted to move and she didn't, or vice versa, that would affect their relationship. They would probably end up not talking, well, not being together, maybe not even talking, maybe cut off from each other, because it's a different type of relationship. And so, you know, even though she's moving away, I'm still going to be friends with her, you know? And it wouldn't affect me, well, it doesn't affect me as badly as it would if I was her partner, you know? Not that I would ever be that way, because I'm not interested in women, but you know what I'm saying. And so, you know, friendships are different to romantic relationships, you know? Like, you know, and what I say to the person, like, I do want a guy who, if I was looking for a relationship still, who's deeply intellectually stimulating, who I can have conversations about anything and everything with them, who wants to go to cinema with me, who wants to go out for meals with me, who wants to go to theme parks, zoos, aquariums with me, who wants to do a lot of the things I do on my own self-dating, right? But to be honest, I'd probably want a guy to be more like me in that way in a relationship. Like, if my friends don't want to go to the cinema or something, it doesn't bother me as much, right? If they don't want to go to theme parks or they don't want to do these things, it doesn't bother me that much, right? It's like, okay, they're my friends, it doesn't bother me. But if I was in a romantic relationship and the guy didn't want to do many of the same things that I wanted to do, and I want to spend time with him a lot, that would just be really annoying, because it'd be like, well, we'd have to spend a lot of time apart because I want to do all these things that you don't want to do. And I can still go off and do them on my own and self-dating, but I kind of then think, well, what's the difference between being in a relationship and being single? There isn't really, do you know what I mean? So for me, there has to be an element of having more in common in terms of shared interests and hobbies and things we want to do together than a friendship would. You know what I mean? Friendship for me is more emotional based, based on like morals and principles, more shared morals and principles, based on similar ideology, based on really compassionate and caringness and thoughtfulness, and you know, and we don't have to be like compatible or everything. We don't need to be having the same sort of interests. We can have half the completely different interests. But if I was in a romantic relationship, by comparison, I'd want a guy who wants to go to theme parks with me, right? For me, theme parks is a huge deal. I love going to theme parks, love going on roller coasters. I want to share that experience in a romantic relationship. I want to be able to go with a guy, if I'm in a relationship, if I ever want one in the future, and go and kiss and cuddle him round the theme park. For me, having a romantic relationship adds an extra layer of excitement and nice intensity, usually, to a situation that would otherwise be not so exciting, right? So that's what I used to like and value in a romantic relationship, is the fact I get to kiss and cuddle. Like, if I'm in a theme park with a friend, I can't kiss and cuddle a friend, I talk to them, right? But if I'm in a relationship, I can kiss, cuddle the person I'm in the relationship with while I'm waiting for a theme park ride, you know? And it just added a layer of intensity in a good way, and excitement and fun, and you know, like cuteness and cuddliness into that experience. So it made the experience different to being with a friend. But like I said, right now I'm not looking for a romantic relationship anymore. I'm not looking to date anymore. So being asked that question, I think it's really good you asked me that question. But obviously I'm having to now think about the benefits of a romantic relationship and what was different about it compared to a friendship. Um, and you know how it's different. I think it is good to examine that, though, because there's a lot of asexuals that can benefit from this information. Like, some people don't understand why asexuals even want a romantic relationship, but you know, like, I really don't want to kiss or cuddle my friends. That would just be really overstepping a boundary. That would be no good, you know. And you know, there are benefits to being in a romantic relationship, but for me at the moment, those benefits aren't here. They've not arrived. They're the cons, like pros and cons to me going after a relationship and dating again is just too many cons, as in it's not good for me. This is because after 7.5 years, it's ended in trauma and been not a good experience for me in the end. And now I just want to take time out for me. I'm like, right, 7.5 years of your life is a long time to dedicate to looking for someone else. And now, Sandra, I'm not interested in doing that anymore, because I've got years of my life ahead of me. And now's the time to get on and do what I want to do and live for me and be calm and just focus on all the other areas of my life, my career, my book publishing business / career, helping asexuals more and more. I feel I can be more beneficial to you at the moment by stopping dating and relationship stuff. I feel I can, produce more videos, be here more for you, because I'll be happier long term, and I just feel like I can develop my social circle more. I can do what I want when I want. I've got a lot more freedom. And so for me personally, I just think having really good high quality friends, developing more local friends, and developing myself more socially and a lot more of my own skills is much better use of my time now. And and that's why for me friendships are a huge priority for me in my life, and prioritized over a romantic relationship now, because I don't look for a romantic relationship anymore. There, it's even more important that I keep those friendships very strong. And a lot of people look for a relationship because they're lonely and sad and unhappy in some way, and they kind of think that a relationship would solve that issue. But in my experience of 7.5 years, it's just made that situation of even remotely, how can I put it, I don't like to think of myself as lonely. I never have been. I have been lonely in the past, but I don't think I've been lonely so much in recent times. But there must have been an element of that, I guess, maybe somehow. But I just feel like I'm much better now, and I don't need a relationship anymore. I'm happy as I am. I'm much less traumatized. I'm much more confident I've always been more confident as a single person, always. And I actually find that sometimes guys in a potential romantic relationship, they just hold me back. They don't appreciate me for who I am. They don't see my intelligence. They don't, appreciate what they've got in front of them. And I'm sick of that, I've had enough of that. Whereas my friends, they appreciate me. They're really grateful and thankful that I am in their life. My best female friend says I'm like her sister to her. My friend Andy tells me how I've changed his life. My best friend Sam keeps regular contact with me, asking me how I am, how is my day going. And they appreciate me being in their life, I've got so much appreciation from my friends, and even in my online friends, I have people popping in my inbox saying nice stuff to me. And and even in Facebook messages and comments, like, appreciate you, grateful for you. Like, one guy I met in an asexual group recently, younger foreign guy actually, but I told him I can't do long distance relationship. I told him as well, I'm not doing that. But anyway, I told him about my YouTube show and stuff, and he goes, "Oh, you're important," and we had another brief conversation. He's like, "Oh, you're important," and that's really nice, And so from friendships or even acquaintances or people I come across, but especially people who know me for some time, I get deep appreciation for who I am, for being myself, for being in that person's life. I feel they really value me on an intellectual level, on a personality level, on a heart-centered level. Whereas if I look back at all the guys that I was interested in for a relationship, the majority of them, they just never appreciated me for who I am. They never really respected me a lot of the time. They didn't see the beauty that was in front of them, or the caringness, or the heart that was in front of them. They didn't value me or my worth as a person very much, And, so for me, friendships are much more valuable to me, because they are making me continue to feel as good about myself as I do now. I feel much better about myself now. I feel much more calmer and peaceful. I feel much more relaxed. I feel like I'm Sandra Bellamy again. I feel I've got myself back, when I spoke to my therapist recently, because I had to have some therapy for trauma, no one made me. I self-referred, but spoke to my doctor first. But, I've only had a few sessions with them, but I've got one more session to go, then that's ending for now. If I want some more, I can go back or whatever. But the therapist, when she spoke to me last time before Christmas, she said she's seen a huge change in me. For once, I sound happy. I sound really enthusiastic and energetic because I'm talking about my book publishing business, writing more books for asexuals, just focusing on that, stop going off on tangents to other entrepreneur stuff now, because I was trying to tell you earlier in this conversation that I've learned a lot about entrepreneurship and different business models and stuff like that, but nothing gives me greater joy than writing books. Nothing. And helping asexuals is just wonderful for me. You know, I just feel so natural helping asexuals because I'm naturally asexual. I've always been asexual and didn't realize it. And talking about asexuality and being asexual just comes very naturally to me because it's like I've always been that way, just didn't realize it. And so I understand it on a deep foundational level that sometimes even I amaze myself how much I understand it, you know, and the different aspects of it. And I just feel now that I just, because I'm calmer and more relaxed, and the therapist was just like, wow, you know, she was really supportive as well. She's the most supportive she's ever been. She really connected with me intuitively, spiritually, if you like. She kind of visioned for me what I visioned for myself in the future. It was very kind of like a goosebump moment, you know. She was saying things that she sees in my future that I've already started working towards. And it was really spooky. She was on about an article. I'm like, I've already started writing that article that you're talking about. So yeah, it was very, very, you know, like surreal. So I've got one more session left with her and then that's ending. But, you know, like I feel like since I've got away from all that relationship and dating stuff and those guys that weren't suitable for me, that I just like, I'm so much more happier. I'm much more peaceful. I'm much more tranquil because I'm focused on writing as well and helping asexuals more. And, you know, like I've gone off on so many different tangents for different stuff, but I've always said to myself as a coach, I think you can be your own best coach sometimes, that, you know, if only I just focused on writing books that changed lives for the next 1 to 2 years, like how my life would be so much different when I focus on what I'm really passionate about and enjoy. And so now I'm saying no to other people, no to other projects, no to other things a lot more. I'm very focused on, you know, building my book publishing business and, you know, like getting more books out for asexuals. And, you know, I can't wait till I launch my Asexual Guide to Sex book. You know, I'm still working on that, but I'm planning like to promote that book for like 3 months solid, which I haven't really done before. As you know, I've got Asexual Perspectives out. If you didn't already know that, it was out in 2017, but I don't think I've promoted that as much as I could have done when it initially came out. If you've got that book, please leave a review. It really helps as well. But with the Asexual Guide to Sex, you know, I think it's a missing puzzle piece, as someone says in the book, you know, giving you an insight there. It's a missing puzzle piece of sexuality, you know. And I think the whole world will literally wake up to asexuality when they read the Asexual Guide to Sex, because it shows how different we think and feel about sex, you know. And it gives such wonderful insights that I've never seen anywhere else before. And I just think it's such a special book. It's so dear to my heart. I get very attached to my books. My books are like my best friends. I'm kind of married to my books. I don't want to get married to a person, but I'll be okay to be married to my books for the rest of my life because I love them that much. And kind of when I finish one, sometimes it's a little bit difficult for me because I get very attached to my books. They're like, because they've been with me through traumatic times and good times, and I get really, they're like my friends. It's really hard to explain. Some people write books just for the hell of it and to make money and stuff. I just write books because I love writing books. I can't get enough of writing books, you know. But I do procrastinate sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, and I do get like, oh my gosh, you know, I get so like kind of excited and apprehensive at the same time because it's a big deal. I put a lot of emotions into my books, you know, a lot of emotion goes into it, and you know, and a lot of my character goes into it. And you know, I've had to, for the Asexual Guide to Sex book, I have had to do some research on little bits of knowledge I don't know, because I'm an asexual who has had sex in the past before I found out I was asexual. Haven't had it for over 10 years, thank God. Because I'm not interested in that personally for me anymore. But you know, there was some research I had to do. Like, I've never used sex toys in my life before. I've known people who do, but I had to do some research about that, you know. So it's been a sex repulsed asexual for me these days, not for other people. Like, some of the book when I've been writing, I've had to have breaks because I'm like, oh my god, this is just a bit too sexual for me. I'm getting less and less like that now. It's kind of like, because I've been kind of submersed so much in the book, and saturated in the book content, if you know what I mean, over and over again. I think my brain and my physiology is getting more used to talking about that type of stuff now. It's just getting more and more accustomed to talking about it and reading about it. So I think I'm becoming a little less repulsed by actually writing it, but I still have repulsion about me actually thinking about doing it myself. But I guess it's been a very interesting experience writing that book, and I'm still continuing to finish it off. I've still got some stuff that I need to put in there. Honestly, I believe it's going to be the best book ever about sex, and it's so unusual because it's written by an asexual with other asexuals in the book. But there was a lot of gaps in my knowledge when I was younger about that type of thing, and it's really important that people know and understand that you can have a relationship without sex, that some asexuals do have sex in relationships and others don't. Some do want them, some asexuals do. Well, when I say want it, they're more likely okay to have it. And other asexuals, they just, even if they've done it before, don't ever want it again, We're all different. But there's a lot of stuff in the Asexual Guide to Sex book that's not just about sex. It's focused on relationship stuff as well, Like one of the things I say in the book, which I think really needs to be reiterated, is if you ever get into a relationship, it's a team. It is a team effort. You can't have a relationship with just one person doing the work. That's not a team, So I think that's a very important part of the book, And friendships are a team effort as well, Like I feel that with my friendships, particularly even more so with my two best friends that I see most of or in contact with most, which is Andy and Sam, that I feel like we've got good teamwork, And my friend Debbie, who I don't see that much, she's moving to another country next month. When we get together, we still like have to work as a team. Like there's still some compromising there. So even if it's a friendship or a romantic relationship, there's still got to be team effort. And, and you've got to have equal respect, and you've got to really value and appreciate that person being in your life, right? For it to be very healthy and happy and for it to be a successful friendship, even long term, Like, have you ever had a friend who just doesn't value you? And in the end, you're just like, why should I even bother messaging them anymore when they don't message me first and they don't even keep in contact? It's all me doing the messaging, all me doing the effort, right? Or, you have a friend and they're not really your friend because they start putting you down, going, oh, why are you like that? Why do you do this? Why do you do that? And they're really offhand and flippant with you, and you feel like invalidated by them, you feel put down by them. If you've ever had those type of friends who make you feel bad about yourself, they're not really your friends. I used to have those type of friends in the past, and I don't have those people like that anymore, which I'm glad to say, and I think if I do come across people like that, I just don't spend much time with them because it's not worth it. You have to have someone respecting you, whether they're in a romantic relationship with you or friendship, right? It's very important. And, like I said earlier, there are differences between a romantic relationship and a friendship, but whatever type of relationship you have, friendship should be the foundation of it. But friendship is a teamwork, just like a relationship is a teamwork. You can't have a team with just one person in it doing all the work. It's just not how it works, and you can't expect to have a healthy, happy, loving, caring relationship with someone if you're criticizing that person all the time, putting them down, or not appreciating them. Like years ago, when I was at school, I had this friend, and after I left home, I had this friend who I would literally go out to a phone box in the freezing cold. At a certain time, when I'd left home, at a certain time of night, I think it was 9 o'clock, on the dot, I would ring them out the freezing cold when I left home. And before I left home, I used to use my parents' phone to phone them. They hardly ever phoned me. And something really weird, I always remember it because it struck me as being very odd. this so-called best friend I had at the time, I said to her, how's your nan? And she's just snapped at me going, why do you want to know that? Like there was something wrong with me for asking, and that I was a monster or something for even asking, and there was something was deeply wrong with me. And I was thinking, I was only asking how your nan is because I care about the people in your life, And so for me, as soon as they started saying that and being abrupt and snapping at me over that, I just thought, this isn't a friendship. This is just someone who's I can't even talk to without fear that they're going to snap at me, and them being unreasonable. If someone's asking you how a relative is, a family or friend or someone like that, why would someone snap at you over that? There's no need for it. And that's how I started really realizing, that. And I already knew really it was one-sided, but unfortunately, sadly, I was made to feel like I should be lucky to have any friends. I think that's really sad. That was put in my head, because at the end of the day, friends are lucky to have each other, and both people in the friendship should respect each other and appreciate each other being there. Why was I made to feel that way? People were lucky to be my friend. I mean, that female friend, I used to go out at 9 o'clock at night in the freezing cold in one of those red phone boxes years ago and phone her up. I don't know other people that would bother doing that, because I really cared about that person, but clearly cared about them a lot more than they cared about me. It was a one-sided friendship, You can't have a one-sided friendship or a one-sided relationship, because in the end, it just doesn't work, and you just have to cut your losses. Why stay with someone who doesn't value and appreciate you when you can be spending better time, quality time with yourself? I've given up dating and relationships and looking for that. I am now spending much more quality time with myself. I am literally thinking what I want to do with my life for the next 1 to 2 years, for definite, up to 5 years. I'm planning all that out. I'm seeing that I'm going to get closer to my dreams. I'm feeling like elated a lot more. I'm feeling a lot better. I feel I've got direction in my life. I've got clarity in my life. I am not wasting my time on guys that really don't appreciate me or care about me, or who need sex, in the case of sexuals. And I'm just feeling a whole lot better. I don't have the anxiety in my body as much as I used to. I still have an anxiety condition, but at the moment it's under control quite a lot of the time, because, it's just like, well, I don't have so much to be anxious about anymore. Like, I can take care of myself. I mean, I've been looking after myself for years, right? So, you know what I mean? Like, one guy on another YouTube channel, like, he was messaging going, there was a video a long time ago with Indian guys in it. I'm like, oh, I like Indian guys. I'm looking for an Indian guy for a relationship, because I obviously used to be proactive back then. And he was the one who's like, oh, why do you want a relationship if you're asexual? And it's like, because people expect you to have sex in a relationship, But I'd rather stay single forever than be with the wrong guy, whether that's an asexual guy or a sexual guy, Like, sometimes, in my experience, with the way some asexual guys behave, not all, some, I think I may as well be with a sexual guy, because what's the difference? The asexual guy, likes women who've got tight tops on with their bust sticking out. I'm just sharing my experience of some of the asexual guys I've come across. This is not true for every asexual guy. I'm just saying my experience, right? And so when I see asexual guys, and literally the only thing that they've liked about the picture is a woman in a tight fitting top with her boobs. Like, it's like, clearly, like, you're liking her boobs, right? Which, if people like that, that's up to them. I do not want a guy like that, right? To me, I may as well just end up with a heterosexual guy who does that anyway. Right? And if you've got guys that go around flirting with loads of women, I'm like, what's the difference between you and a sexual guy? There isn't any in that respect. The only difference is you're not saying you want sex with me. You're saying that you don't. But how do I know down the line you're not going to change your mind on that anyway? And if you're doing all this flirty stuff and all this other stuff that I just can't trust you on, there's no point anyway. I just don't see a point. I'm thinking I may as well be with a heterosexual guy anyway, because at least with a heterosexual guy, he'll probably want a lot more kissing. I can snog his face off, sit in his lap, have sexual behaviour, even though I don't have sexual attraction, he'll be comfortable with that. Whereas a hetero-romantic asexual guy might not, but yeah, he might still behave sexual in the way he looks at women and the way he flirts with them and all the rest of it anyway, So, I mean, to me, like, what's much of the difference? There isn't much, is there, apart from this active sex stuff, which is a huge thing, I guess, because I don't want sex. But you know what I mean? I'm just like thinking I'd rather hang out with heterosexual guys and be their friends and not even get into a relationship and just have their company than be with some asexual guys going around flirting with loads of women, liking their boobs and stuff, liking porn or whatever they do. And I've just had enough of that. I'm like, I wanted to be with an asexual guy in part, you know, to get away from the whole sexual thing, the whole looking at women's bodies in a sexual way, the whole flirting with other women, and I can't trust them, you know? Like, obviously, I've been with heterosexual guys in the past, so I know what heterosexual behavior looks like. I know what type of things really annoyed me before about being in a heterosexual relationship. Besides the fact I was expected to have sex, but actually, I just used to get annoyed, like, you know, when the guy was like looking at other women behind my back. I just used to find it really disrespectful. I don't like that personally. You know, looking at nudity in the cinema, and it's like, I just personally don't like all that. I'm like, to me, I'd rather stay single. And, you know, like, you know, sometimes I find heterosexual guys are not, some heterosexual guys aren't even that bad, you know? I find some asexual guys worse, some of them, you know? And it's very interesting because I had someone in my asexual, was it, no, grey asexual and demisexual dating group years ago. There was a girl who came in my group, and she actually said to me that she found that some heterosexual guys were more respectful towards her and what she did and didn't want to do sexually, and in terms of touching their asexual guys. She found heterosexual guys more respectful. And I think sometimes like some heterosexual guys can be more respectful. Which is shocking to say that, right? But I found out it's the truth in some cases. You know, and I found like some heterosexual guys can be less flirty, you know, and less going around like chat up other women. They've like got better things to do with their time and stuff, you know. So, you know, I guess I'm actually being a bit more kinder towards heterosexual guys for a change, actually. You know, and you're always going to get people that are good and not so good in whatever sexuality there is at the end of the day. But I just personally think for me now, I just think I'm a much more stronger, better person and more confident as a single being, single person. When I've gone into a lot of dating groups in the past, particularly sexual dating groups, because I've decided to try there anyway in case there's asexuals hanging out in it, or in case someone could live without sex. They used to say to me, like, I've got a lot of criticism for like, oh, there's a lot of things you don't like in a relationship. Well, I'm like, yeah, there's things I don't like and there's things I do. You just ignored all the things I like and straight went for the things I don't. But you know, like there is a lot of things to other people that I want. Like in an actual relationship, romantic relationship, I don't want marriage. I don't want kids. I don't want sex. I like to live separately. I don't want to do cooking or cleaning or housework for a guy. If I'm in a friendship, my friends don't expect that of me. My best friend Andy comes over here to my home to chat to me, look after me and whatever, and to help me with shopping and stuff. We're best friends. And you know, they bring their own sandwiches and food. They don't expect me to cook for them, to clean for them, to wash up after them, because they know I'm not that type of girl, and they respect that. And they value my friendship. And they're quite capable of being an adult, going out and getting their own food, buying their own sandwiches, bring it over to my place. So I don't have to worry about anything like that, even though they cooked for me before when they brought their own stuff, right? So, you know, I don't expect anything less from a guy. I don't want to be in a relationship with a guy who can come over my place and like leave his pots and pans everywhere, decide to use my cooker and not wash it out or anything like that. I have very set ways of doing things to minimize and minimize things in my life that I don't want to do. I have had the traditional relationship years ago, heterosexual relationship where you go to work, do a 9 to 5 job or 10 to 6 job, you come home, you have food, you watch TV, you go to bed, and obviously with past relationships have some sex sometimes, go to bed. And I've lived that life. I lived that life for years, right? And I felt very old doing that, and I felt like not me. And I just don't ever want that life again. I didn't like it. I was very miserable. It's not the type of life I want to lead, right? I'm a young, vibrant, energetic girl, and I don't like doing housework for a guy. I have fibromyalgia. I was only diagnosed with that after my last long-term relationship ended, which ended in 2011. I was diagnosed in January 2012 fibromyalgia. It hurts me to stand up doing the washing up, to be perfectly frank with you, right? I am not going to stand there making myself ill and in pain for any guy because I love him. If he loves me, he won't expect me to do that, right? If I like him as a person, hi baby girl, hi Abdullah, lots of love to you. So, so I'm not interested in doing washing up or cooking or cleaning for a guy. I refuse to do that. I'm not going to be in a relationship where a guy expects me to do that. I've got much better things to do with my life and my time. To me, that is a frigging waste of time and life, right? I've got to do it for myself sometimes, but I don't want to be doing that for another person because it doesn't make me happy. It brings pain in my body. It doesn't make me happy. The last thing I want is a guy coming over here expecting me to do that. I'm in more pain. And so basically every time a guy comes over, I just associate it with more pain in my life. I really don't want that, right? And my friends respect that. My friends like eat out a lot of the time with me and stuff like that, or bring their own food. They don't expect me to cook and clean for them or do anything like that, right? This is about treating people as individuals and adults, however young or whatever birth certificate age they are, and about respecting that people have different ways of doing things. Like I am friends with a foreign lady on foreign woman, I should say, on Facebook, and she wrote a post about the fact that, think of everything a woman does for a guy: housework, cooking, cleaning, doing this, that, and the other around the home for a guy, right? And I said in this post, I don't do any of that for a guy. I just don't. And she's like, oh, good for you. Because I don't. I'm not giving my life up for a guy, right? We're in the 21st flaming century now, right? It's not about women being in the home cooking, unless someone wants to do that. My mum loves being a housewife. Respect to my mum, respect to my dad. They've been married 52 years. They have a very traditional relationship that works for them. Appreciate that. Love them to bits. That's fine because they both want that. That's what they both like, both enjoy. I personally am the opposite to that. I don't want to get married, and I certainly do not want to be doing housework, cooking, and cleaning for a guy. If he wants to cook for me, that's up to him. I'm not a submissive girl, and I'm not into cooking and cleaning or doing any of that. I don't want a guy come over here. If a guy ever came to my flat, if he ever did, then it would be like, bring your own food. If you cook it, wash up all the plates. Well, I buy paper plates anyway to chuck away. So, wash up any mugs or any cutlery you have. Don't get my, clean out my oven or whatever. I don't even use pans. I have my vegetables raw. So I do a lot of things to cut down on washing up. Buy paper plates to chuck away. I literally get tinfoil trays to put them in the oven with greaseproof paper so I can just chuck them away in the bin. Don't have any grill pans. I don't use a grill pan. I have one, but I don't use it. Don't use pans. So there I have my vegetables raw. So, and any other vegetables I cook in the oven, right? So I don't have all this washing up because it's a waste of life and time for me, right? I do not want to be wasting life and time. Life is so precious. Life should be enjoyed, having fun. It should be about hard work towards something meaningful, contributing to society, in my case, helping asexuals, right? I mean, I've been on this live stream for what, an hour and 48 minutes, I think it is, or 43 minutes, is it? It's hard to see, but over an hour and 40 minutes, right, chatting to you. And so, if I was doing housework for a guy, I wouldn't be able to sit here talking to you now because I'd be busy doing that for him. I'm not interested in doing that, right? And obviously, as I am attracted to younger foreign guys, a lot of foreign guys are used to the women being in the house, cooking and cleaning for them, doing what they tell them to do, being very dominating and stuff like that. That's just not me. I'm completely opposite to that. I'm an individualist, do not want to be told what to do by any guy. I'm not a submissive type, right? Like, I actually attract sometimes guys with feminine traits, guys who are more submissive guys, because I'm just not submissive. I just not like that. I know my own mind. I've lived on my own for years. I can take good care of myself. I don't need a guy to look after me in that way. But I want a guy, if I ever got into a relationship, who'd be emotionally supportive and who'd be highly communicative and who'd treat me like a best friend with lots of respect, lots of love, lots of gratitude, lots of appreciation, and who'd want to work with me as a team to grow and develop in the relationship and each other's individuals. But at the moment, I am not looking for a relationship anymore. I'm not doing dating. I haven't found the right type of guy for me. And I am now having a break from all that. I don't want to even do that, right? I'm purposely not doing that. So I want to, like I said, expand my social circles more, expand my friends more, maintain and sustain and develop the deep asexual and other non-asexual close friendships, best friendships I've got, and just pursue my book writing and publishing career, helping asexuals more. That's where I want to go with my life. I don't want to be held back by anything or anyone. And now I've got an opportunity now. I'm not focusing on dating relationships anymore, to really utilize that time much better to do a lot more things. Like, even if I'm just sat watching movies on my own, that is so much more relaxing than the intensity and anxiety inducing of going around looking for a relationship or dating, thinking, is this guy actually going to care? Is he going to carry on communicating with me? Is he not? Is he going to turn out to be good? Is he going to turn out to not be good? Is he going to appreciate me? Is he not? I just don't want all that rubbish. That's not even going to be the right guy for me if I'm thinking like that, right? My head's not in the right headspace. So I'm just happy now, like, putting friendships first, making them a huge priority in my life, developing social circles, developing and growing myself as a person. And I feel like I've got a new lease of life, my life back. I've got to be a lot more disciplined this coming year in that way. I've got to not go off on tangents like I used to, and just stay focused on what I really want to do, and try and make a good go of all the things I want to do in the next 1 to 2 years, up to 5 years. I have a lot of books I want to write for asexuals, and I feel I can just, like, obviously I've got 7.5 years of dating and relationship experience, so I can still help asexuals with that. I still write books on that. I can, I am still currently in dating groups and on dating, like, the asexual dating sites that I'm on. I'm currently still in all the dating groups I haven't left any of them. So yeah, but I'm just not going in there being actively looking anymore for someone. I'm more being observational, or even saying, I'm not looking for dating a relationship anymore. And this is why. So and I'm spending more time, I think, in general, off social media than I was, in terms of, like, because I was doing that. But and I need to focus on developing, growing myself as a person, and what my interests are. So I just feel so much better. I think it's really good that an asexual person like me, who's hyper romantic, is actually now prioritizing friendships, because I realize that friendships is where it's at for me. And I cannot be in a relationship with some guy I haven't known as a friend for at least, I'm guessing, a couple of years anyway. And I just think it's not going to be healthy. It's not going to be good. And I'm damn well never going to get into a relationship ever again with a guy who just doesn't appreciate me and value my worth. I really not. I'm sick and tired of that. I value and love myself so much that I do not want that for me ever again. It's just not on. And so I feel better now. I feel better that I'm living my life again, being my young teenager self. And I feel more in control of my life now. I feel more in control of my emotions now. Not totally, I've still, because I've got complex PTSD. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's post-traumatic stress syndrome. But, well, it's post-traumatic stress disorder, isn't it? PTSD. Or post-traumatic stress syndrome disorder, whatever you want to call it. But I've got the complex version of it. So complex version means your emotion, one of the traits of it is uncontrollable emotions. So because I have been crying a lot more than I usually would, like very quickly, like very quick like that. For example, when I went to say goodbye to my best female friend who's going to Turkey next month to move there permanently with her partner, or move abroad permanently, might go somewhere else if Turkey's not for there in the end. But she's moving abroad. She's not going to ever come back and live over here, I don't think, ever again. If she comes back for holiday, it'll be lucky. But you know what I mean? When I was talking to her, I shed quite a lot of tears, but she understood I was going to be like that anyway, because she's always said I'm like a sister to her, so that's kind of going to be really hard. And she's the only female friend I've ever really bonded with closely, and who's cared about me. Like, I spoke to you about the girl female friends in my past that didn't even care, really. People didn't care. And so, you know, like, I'd stop crying, and then she said to her partner that came back, because he left us alone to talk a while, oh, Sandra's got loads of tissues, I had to get them for her because she's been crying. And I instantly burst into tears again. So I've had to accept the fact that I've got complex PTSD, and part of that is uncontrollable emotion. So now it's like I can end up instantly crying, just like, I can't stop. And I just have to accept that about myself, because if we don't accept things about ourselves like that, then it can just perpetuate and get worse and make us feel bad about ourselves, you know. But I'm not crying as much as I was. At one point recently, I was like crying every single day and every time I woke up. I'm not crying every time I wake up now, which I'm really happy about. And I'd say overall, I'm not crying as much anymore. So that's really, really good. I'm really happy about that. I think I've come on leaps and bounds since I've not been focusing on dating relationships. It's obviously a lot more healthy for me to be single and to be happy on my own and to be more content with my life as I am, and just enjoy, you know, the here and now and the friendships I've got and all the good stuff that's coming my way, you know. And I just feel like better. I feel so much better. And I feel glad that now I've finally said to myself, you know what, Sandra? 7.5 years you've been looking for your asexual soulmate, who you thought was younger and foreign, in his early to mid 20s, likely Indian, and you didn't find that guy, or if you did find him, he just wasn't your guy in this lifetime, you know. And you know, for whatever reason, things turn out the way they did, and you know, it's all been good, because now I know that I'm not interested in dating a relationship anymore, and I've been able to work on myself a lot more, and I just feel better, you know. I just feel so much better, and I wanted to tell you that because, you know, you've seen me, particularly before Christmas, you saw me really, really upset quite a lot. I have been poorly. I've had like a respiratory / chest infection problem since after I went out clubbing, a couple of days after I went out clubbing. And so, you know, I've had a lot of ill health, but now's the time to focus on me and get better. Anyway, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for joining me. Love you lots. Let's see, I've still got the old cough. And thanks for your online friendship. I appreciate it lots. Thanks for the support. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell icon so you get notified every time I go live like now, post a new video. And take care. Lots of love. Thanks for coming. Bye. Thanks for being here. Lots of love. Bye.